So in this movie, the Scooby Gang are in Australia. So is there going to be some offensive Australian accents?
This concert's not a good idea.
Relax, grandfather. Everything'll be fine.
Exploring Vampire Rock. We liked it so much we decided to camp up there. But we didn't see a single vampire.
Okay, maybe not just the Australians that offend me, but the voice acting in general. Even from Scooby-Doo himself. Let me explain. Hey guys, Blazie here, and welcome to my review of Scooby-Doo and the Legend of the Vampire. It came out in 2003 and was made by Warner Brothers Animation, because yeah, Hanna-Barbera was taken in by Warner Brothers now. So this movie has the animation of the current TV show at the time, What's New Scooby-Doo, a show I have not seen. I mentioned it, I think, in the last video that I haven't watched a lot of modern Scooby-Doo stuff. Like, I've never watched this movie. Maybe for a good reason. Because I'm sorry to say, I didn't like this movie. Granted, this is after watching the excellent Scooby-Doo movies by Mook Animation, and then you jump to this, and it feels more like the missing link between Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf and Zombie Island. Because this is a huge step back in terms of quality and voice acting. So here's the sad and fun news. Scott Innes is no longer voicing Shaggy and Scooby in the movies, but Casey Kasem is back. I guess Warner Brothers agreed to make Shaggy vegan during his time. Yeah, that's why he originally left. Fred is Fred, aka Fake Welker. Velma is voiced by her original voice, Nicole Jaffe, and Heather North, Daphne's second voice, returns for this movie and the next. Which is really cool, but I'm sorry, it's not great.
Hey everybody, come take a look. Sydney Harbor.
This is gonna be the best vacation ever. Oh, wow.
Maybe their voices just don't work for the style of animation, but all I know is they do sound older, they sound bored, and don't have like the same energy, and it just doesn't sound good to me. But the worst offender to this is Scooby-Doo.
But Scoob and I have got the food situation covered.
Well, you ain't.
So Fake Welker, who voices Fred and is a marvelous voice actor, now voices Scooby-Doo from here onward, and I was never really a fan, but I got used to it as I feel like he got better at it, because right now it sucks. It utterly sucks.
Scooby-Doo!
His iconic laugh is butchered, and he barely even speaks in the movie, and when he does, it sounds like, well, what it is, a paycheck and nothing more. And he gets so many less lines, maybe like one sentence. I recognize Scooby doesn't talk much, but it feels worse in this movie. I really just don't like his voice, and that sucks. Like, it's too raspy or something like that. Anyway, what about the movie? It feels more like a long episode and not movie-worthy. Oh, but the Hex Girls are in it, and their songs are non-existent. Yeah, there's zero reason for them to exist in this movie besides marketing. Because when they meet them, they do sing Hex Girl for like 5 seconds and then it gets cut off.
Hey, the Hex Girls.
Like I knew those tunes sounded familiar.
They later sing another song for again 5 or so seconds. So we don't get a Hex Girl song at all, making them feel pretty pointless. And even then, they don't really do anything in the movie. This movie is about a music festival happening in Sydney, Australia. We see 2 Aboriginals, a grandfather Malcolm and his grandchild Daniel, who are in charge of the event. But just as the guy goes up to start playing music, Shenabog from Fantasia shows up, and 3 whip-off KISS members. They're flying around and take the dude up like he's a Crane Game prize. In the next scene, we see Scooby and the gang on a boat, and the theme song plays as they run around being chased by monsters, but also replicating the original opening. Kind of fun, was getting into it. After that, I got quite a surprise by hearing one of the original music tracks. In fact, it's all over this movie. It's kind of fun, but it was also very distracting, as I noticed they don't use it correctly half the time. And it did make it feel even more like a long TV episode. But it is still fun. But also Scooby's laugh here did not help me like fake work with Scooby-Doo. And it really doesn't get better when he's in a van later.
Well, you won't.
I'm so sorry I'm negative to this movie. I was kind of getting into it. You guys probably love this, but this is just my opinion is all. Look, if this was just an episode of a show, I would say, yeah, decent episode. But considering I would have to pay $20 to buy this movie on DVD back in the day, it's not really worth it. It's also very weird to hear Velma geeking out over Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Sydney Opera House. I have seen those once in my life, when flying over Sydney to the airport to catch a different plane out of there. They also go to Bondi Beach, and I like this moment with a crab rolling his eyes at a Shaggy joke.
Come on, Scoob. He's just a little guy. No need to get all crabby.
They go through the outback, but decide to stop by the music festival, which is being held at Vampire Rock. There is no Vampire Rock in Australia. There's Ayers Rock, aka Uluru, but there's no vampires there. We meet Russell, who is working with Daniel, and a manager who manages a band called the Bad Omens. He used to manage the band Wild Wind, who disappeared last year, and are the Kiss vampires we saw. So they disappeared and we see vampires who look like them. I wonder who the bad guys are. Also, there's this moment where Shaggy is playing a game that features Scooby and Shaggy. Is this a reference to Cyber Chase? I have to say, that game got a total downgrade. But it's a neat reference. It then makes me think, so the other movies are canon. Did they go to Cyber Chase, see their old outfits in the old van, and were like, well, time to be our old selves again, including Daphne falling into traps, and Fred and Daphne having a very non-existent relationship now. It's just, it is funny when you think about it, how the characters grew and then regressed. Then a cute montage of them in the outback interacting with different animals, though at one point I swear they have like bobcats, which don't exist in Australia, but it's still a fun moment. They then learn more about Vampire Rock as they reach the festival and find the Hex Girls, and yeah, it's just a huge disappointment. Not only is the animation so bland that they're not even moving their lips to the song, but it's just the same Hex Girl song for Witch's Ghost, but only for a couple of seconds, and it's just so much more worse. How did it get so downgraded?
Say a few words and you lose control. I'm a Hex Girl.
Understand this. I love the Hex Girls, so I'm upset they're not used correctly. Even if the animation wasn't as good as like what it was in the past, I still would be fine if they actually used the songs. This is, however, when we learn of what the vampire is. It's the Yowie Yahoo. So, is that a real Australian thing? So, it's an Aboriginal story, and I'm not well versed in these stories. I know some, but I don't know of vampires. But apparently there is one that is called the Yowie Ma Yahoo. I hope I said that right, but yeah, the Yowie Ma Yahoo, who much like the drop bear, jumps out of trees and sucks your blood, but also swallows you and later regurgitates you, making you a little bit more weird. Sounds more like a story of like someone who was sunburned. Fascinating. And then there's the Yowie, which I know mostly fakes to the chocolates, but the Yowie is more so a type of ape-man, basically. But yeah, let me know if you guys get like the chocolates overseas, like in America, Europe, or whatever. I'm very curious about that. But yeah, basically they just combined them both to make the Yowie Yahoo. Sure, I do kind of wish they went with like an actual Australian or Aboriginal kind of story, but it's fine, it's whatever. I mean, there's also dingoes later howling at the moon, and I was very confused. Are these like Australian wolves? Because we don't have wolves in Australia. Random tangent. My best friend during school had a pet dog that may have just been a dingo. And looking at dingoes now and remembering what his dog looked like, yeah, it might have just straight up been a dingo. Whoops. Dingoes are wild canines, they are not pets. Anyway, the Yowie Yahoo turn the Rockstars into vampires, and they're ruining the festival by kidnapping band members, like they eventually take away the Bad Omens and even the Hex Girls later. The Scooby Gang decide to enter as a band, and the outfits they put on are great. Particularly Fred is looking kinda hot, not gonna lie about that. And I like Scooby's outfit too. They also almost nearly do the dog wear joke, but he never says it, just kind of looks around. Close enough. I'm gonna skip over and speed run some things now. Fred wanted Daphne to dress up like an Aboriginal medicine person. That's racist, Fred.
Now, Daphne, I want you to disguise yourself as an Aboriginal medicine woman and...
Fred!
What?
Or we could just use the front door.
They're the most suspicious of the manager, going from one group to another, even searching his trailer and finding clues, while Shaggy and Scooby are chased around by the vampires, giving us like a music montage. And it was fun. I didn't mind this moment. I liked one of the moments where they pretend to be Italian chefs and feed pasta to one of them but load it up with garlic, thinking I'll finish him off. Nope, dude just eats it all. Hilarious. We meet two skinny dudes, the name of a new band coming in, claiming themselves as the winner since everyone is gone, but nope, the Scooby Gang is a band now. Also, their voice acting is terrible.
Like, who are you?
Two skinny dudes.
Like me, too.
We're the band Two Skinny Dudes.
They go see the grandfather, who is doing smoke signals and learn of red gum trees and so on, helping them with clues basically. Scooby also gets eaten by a crocodile, and the gang really don't seem to care, which is funny. It's like it happens all the time, so it's just like, whatever. They go through a cave and Daphne falls into a trap while searching for the Hex Girls, and then later comes a big final fight against the vampires and the Yowie Yahoo. There's a bit of action with it, throwing fireballs at them and blowing wind, which somehow Fred's jumper and ascot flies off and suddenly Shaggy's wearing it. That's kind of fun, also very gay. Like, I feel like one of the artists really liked Fred in this movie by taking off his jumper, basically, and so he's just wearing, like, the tank top. The artist really liked Fred in this, because there's just no reason for it, because in the next scene, suddenly they're back wearing the white outfit. The dingoes also show up and scare the vampire off, and then as the sun rises, a beam of light hits Scooby's tag, and then shines up and blows up the Yowie Yahoo. Pretty much, basically, anyway. And Scooby gets called an honorary dingo. But there's just no excitement in his voice. It's so bad.
You're an honorary dingo.
Bingo? Ooh, hey.
But then the vampires show up again, not affected by sunlight, but it's okay because Fred wads off with the gang holding them all, which is always funny to see. But the vampires then later get captured very randomly by Daniel. Like, I didn't even know he was part of this. It's just, okay, sure. And so who are the bad guys? Guess, Wassel are two skinny dudes? Nope, they're wearing human masks. And we see some normal looking random dudes, but then Daphne takes out her mascara and just flicks around like a magic wand, and suddenly they're in full makeup. Hilarious, I was very confused, but that's kind of funny, but also not great. And so they're the old band members that went missing. They are exactly who you knew they were. As I said, I wonder who the bad guys are. They went missing a year ago. Yeah, I'm sure they did. Basically, they lost last year's competition and so decided to disappear for next year, but they were not allowed to go back. So they pretended to be vampires to scare everyone away, so they would win the contest as these other fake band members, not even needing to make a song. So, did they just live in a cave for a year? Sounds kinda gay. So now we see all the different ways they make things work. They are mountain climbers and made ropes to help them fly. They explain they sent the other band members away by giving them an all-expense-paid trip. How much money do these people who disappeared and lived in a cave have? Couldn't they just go to a different country to do music? Yes. Yes, they could have. Though the Hexions were just kind of roaming a desert, and the Yowie Yahoo was made just because the band knew special effects. Such a cop-out answer. I always like to try and work out how it's all possible, and that's such a dumb and lazy answer. That it's all just special effects. Like, that's so dumb. Anyway, Scooby and the gang, since they technically entered the competition, are the de facto winners and have to sing a song going by the name Meddling Kids. That's funny, I do like that. But yeah, this is the opportunity to put a song in by the Hex Girls, but nope, it's just a badly sung song by Velma, which, okay, cute she is shy about it, but it ain't good. I I did not like this movie for many reasons. You're in Australia and you go with vampires? That's bizarre. Like, come on, do something with the drop bears or something, you know? It's just such a bizarre thing. The Hex Girls are barely in it, and when they are, it's nothing but disappointment. The animation is subpar compared to the last movie. The use of the old music is fun, but also just feels out of place. Only one or two moments made me chuckle. Scooby's voice is so bad in this one in particular. Most of the voice acting is bad though, with not a single Australian voice. This movie kinda just annoyed me, to be honest. I didn't like any of the characters. The ones I liked were poorly used. I'm sorry, but Scooby-Doo and the Legend of the Vampire is a 4 out of 10 foxes. Yep, it's on the same level as Ghoul School to me. I just didn't have fun with this movie. Like I wanted to. Please trust me on that. I wanted to have fun with this movie. But I apologize, it's a 4. What do you guys think of this movie? Was I too harsh on it? I think this review is going to get the most dislikes so far because I know a lot of people like this movie, but if you like it because the Hex Girls are in it, then you should feel offended by how they treated them in this movie. They were just props. They were nothing. But that is just my opinion though. Anyway, that's the end of this video. I have a Blue Sky, I have a Twitter, all linked down below. I have a coffee and a PayPal if you want to help donate to me. It really helps me out. Thank you everyone that does. And please do give this video a like and subscribe to my channel because I love you if you do. Hit that bell icon and this fox says, be who you want to be. Alright guys, bye for now.